Welcome back, guys. Today we're reacting to SunnyV2. Yes, I didn't react to his stuff a long time because, well, just didn't have the idea to do it. But of course I'm watching every single thing of him because, well, he's a legend. Anyway, but what is he actually doing about, or what is he informing us about? Well, this time it's about Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is a horrible person that was once an actor, an action hero actor to be specific, and he had to do with mafia, with a lot of shit. Let's just say it in a short place. Yeah, a lot of shit. He's really not a good human being. He really effed up a lot of times. So, but I'm not gonna spoil you about anything else. But because SunnyV will explain this shit, but god damn it, if I could, this is Steven Seagal is one of the typical negative stereotypes of an actor. He basically did it all plus 3. So yeah, just okay. It is what it is. Let's just see what SunnyV has to say about him, and let's just get it a ride. Good. Whoop, come on, stop.
Family's 1-year-old puppy dog and stole money from a kid in a wheelchair. Steve.
Oh yeah, basically that with the dog, presumably, let's just say, realistically, he actually killed a puppy dog just because the family annoyed him. The other thing with the wheelchair, yeah, let's just, I'm just disgusted. You can hear it, Tuckles. I'm just disgusted.
Even Seagal has such a comically terrible history, he now simply refuses to face it.
I wonder how you deal with all that.
Yep, and he just walks
Hello,
away.
Steven Seagal?
Number 1, treating other actors terribly during filming. I have a family member that worked with him years ago on a low-budget film. Steven Seagal was miserable and rude, but it only gets worse from here. Whilst filming for the movie Exit Wounds, stuntman Steven Quadros explained that Seagal would unexpectedly kick guys in the nuts to see if they were wearing cups, which was also mentioned by a different stuntman in a completely unrelated interview.
The first thing he's gonna do is kick you in the nuts. He's like, oh hey, we're wearing a cup? Well, he's just gonna pop you in the nuts. That's the first thing he does.
One comment stated, I actually know if
Imagine you go to something like this, and the guy just freaking hits you in the nuts. What the freak is wrong with? Oh my god, this is just. I didn't even hear that one. I didn't know that one. That's new for me. Just imagine just going in there, damn, in the nuts. Well, you don't wear a cap. You should wear a cap, bitch. Oh my god.
a few stuntmen and actors who've worked with Seagal, and they all echo the same thing about him, one of whom might have been Stephen Lambert, who stated Seagal became more unpredictable during his fight scenes.
He's notorious of breaking people's arms, legs, ribs,
as he'd actually punch and hit other actors to make the fights look real.
He was actually
no effort. Oh my god, this is just disgusting. Or what do you think? Isn't it just disgusting, to be honest?
Barrels and like can make effective weapons if ever combated.
Yeah, okay.
hitting the stuntman like
Oh,
for
hell
real.
yeah. He's known for that.
To make matters worse, protective equipment wasn't allowed on set,
There's nothing wrong with putting on pads. They would say no because he wouldn't allow it.
and it's therefore no surprise that during one scene, Seagal injured DMX's shoulder during the fight, so X had to take a few days off. Even worse was when Seagal put a stuntman in hospital,
And he beat the shit out of the guy and smashed his face to the mirror multiple times. He went over the top to the point that sent the guy to the hospital.
which isn't surprising given he was this rough while filming a YouTube video.
I wasn't ready.
As a result, actors have to be extremely careful just to appear alongside him,
You gotta keep a third eye on what he's doing. And if you're not good enough, he's gonna hurt you.
although not only because of unexpected injuries. Seagal would show up on set demanding insane movie changes,
Calls the director, he's like, we're changing the scene. We're gonna do the scene in Arabic. He's gonna teach me. And he's like, put this camera here, put this camera here. And I was like, everybody's like, what?
While Steven Tobolowsky told a funny story where Seagal randomly stopped acting on set due to an unexpected crisis.
Steven Seagal has had a spiritual awakening. He decided that he doesn't want to kill people anymore in movies. And Steven says, I think it's just bad that we keep putting this violence into the world.
This resulted in a $14 million lawsuit claiming that Seagal not only regularly showed up late and left early, but also made regular unauthorized changes to the script and dialogue, which could result in the loss of millions of dollars because parts of the film's plot that were promised now cannot be delivered to the film buyers. Seagal was sued for another $60 million after repeating his actions on 4 other sets, justifying his lack of effort with the worst excuse you'll ever hear. Seagal backed out because his Buddhist guru known as Mukara said the films would create bad karma, perhaps because Seagal's also been exposed for exaggerating his skills as.
And by the way, imagine this. Just imagine this. You pay the fucker a lot of money, and he does shit like that. And not just that. You know this. But the people that actually work or watch his movies don't. And you know that. And you know at the end of the day, even if he's acting up like a really, really freaking bad human being, at the end, people will still watch him and think he's this great guy. Isn't this fucked up? Isn't this really totally fucked up? Like, I think it's pretty fucked up, to be honest. But yeah, damn.
As a fighter. Steven Seagal is in fact a black belt martial artist. However, his martial art of choice, Aikido, has been heavily criticized for being one of those mostly impractical martial arts that has extremely limited application in real life scenarios.
He is a legitimate Aikido black belt, but the martial art is the questionable thing.
A Reddit comment describes Seagal's martial art to be kind of a cult with fake telegraphed attacks. The attackers are just there to make the master look good, which is exactly what's shown in this video, where Seagal's attackers just fall to the floor to make him look good for the crowd.
I cannot. This is laughable. Like, anyone who actually seen this and was like, hey, this is an... and is older than freaking 5. Well, no, maybe not 5, I mean. A 13-year-old kid would believe this. But really? Adult people believe this? How they... like, the people... human beings just... most of the human race just doesn't have any freaking idea how actual fights actually go down. Because this isn't how it goes down, mates. Those two, if he just runs around and is like, I'm gonna push you away. No, you get fucked up.
Unfortunately, people don't voluntarily flip over in the real world. This makes pro wrestling look real, wonderfully choreographed. Fighting is always easier when your opponent cooperates. It's therefore no surprise Seagal has no professional fighting record.
Who in MMA does Aikido? So-and-so coming in the cage is a world champion with a background in Aikido. You never heard that once. Have you ever heard that once? It's for a reason.
But he did claim that he'd taught Anderson Silva how to do a highly specialized move, the leg kick.
I started teaching him kicks that I thought he could really hurt people with, and at that point I knew he was going to start to really make these kicks, work.
He created the front kick. Did he invent the wheel too? In response, Anderson Silva made a video mocking Steven Seagal's fighting, although there was one more attempt by Seagal to prove he could actually fight. Whilst on set for the movie Out for Justice, Seagal claimed that due to his Aikido training, he couldn't possibly be choked unconscious. The challenge was taken up by martial artist Gene LaBelle, who not only choked Seagal out instantly, but also caused Seagal to soil himself in the moments he was blacking out. When asked about the incident, LaBelle stated, sometimes Steven has a tendency to cheese off the wrong people, and you can get hurt by doing that. So if a guy soils himself, you can't criticize him, because if they just had a nice big dinner an hour before, you might have a tendency to do that. Seagal responded by claiming that he and LaBelle had never even fought.
There was never ever any confrontation with him, ever. And if Gene is saying shit like that, he should be ashamed of himself. And so if he said that, he is a pathological scumbag liar.
Although nobody believes Seagal's side of the story, as he has his own list of well-documented lies. For example, Seagal made the insane claim that he was honored as the first private citizen to destroy a nuclear device, whilst also claiming he was recruited by the CIA to help carry out undercover missions.
Yep.
I shall be with you every...
Yep.
Well, you truly are the... Surely there's only men watchhead with
yeah, and people believe that, by the way. And in the end of the day, I'm not even mad at the people, but come on. I mean, okay, after the fight scene, I actually ask myself, why the F did people actually believe him? That's freaking stupid nonsense. And I mean it as I say, that's freaking moronic. Me as a kid actually already freaking recognized that it's just not how it seems. But literal freaking grown-up people actually did it.
However,
So,
It explained, you could say that I became an advisor to several CIA agents in the field, and through my friends in the CIA met many powerful people, and did special works and special favors, although an investigation by a magazine found these claims were completely bogus. It also dispelled the myth that Seagal once fought the Yakuza in his dojo, as the magazine interviewed Seagal's ex-wife who stated it's a lie. He once chased a few drunks away from the dojo, but never was involved with the Yakuza. Similarly, Seagal made the claim that he was a tough kid who was feared by others, yet this was dispelled by his own mother who stated her son was frail and suffered from asthma. He was a puny kid back then, although Seagal had a plan to clarify exactly what was fact and fiction. He'd post a Reddit Ask Me Anything, likely expecting normal questions. However, the responses would only deepen the past that was already haunting him. What kind of pants were you wearing when Jean LaBelle choked you unconscious and caused you to shit your pants? I personally know a stuntman who had all of his front teeth knocked out by you and said you didn't even apologize. Why did you do that? Can you explain how you developed the front kick that Anderson Silva used in his UFC fight? Although there was one more question that was worse than any other. Hey there, I went to the same junior high school as you in Fullerton, CA many years later. Heard some stories. The one I would like to ask you about is when your social studies teacher caught you stealing lunch money from a kid in a wheelchair. True, I didn't make this up. Seagal understandably avoided the damning questions. However, by answering some of the easy ones, he'd introduce another flaw: his massive ego. What is your current biggest drive that motivates you? I am a champion and I want to remain a champion. Seagal's overinflated self-image was best shown in this interview, where he'd implied that Van Damme wasn't a good martial artist.
I think that that's a matter of opinion, that he was a champion anywhere.
Which was then proven at a party when the two came head to head. The party was hosted by Sylvester Stallone, who stated, Van Damme was tired of Seagal saying he could kick his ass and went right up to him and offered him the chance to step outside so he could wipe the floor with him. Seagal made some excuse and left. Van Damme, who was completely berserk, tracked him down and again offered him a fight, and again Seagal pulled a Houdini, yet Seagal unsurprisingly stated it was Van Damme who ran from him.
Is that true he got in a fight with you?
And you know why? Because people believe it. Sadly, yes, people believed it. And that's something, yeah, it's freaking, it's just sad. It just sad. I really, as I said, I understand that some people believe it, but after this stuff, like, honestly, how can you believe this? How? How is it that you actually believe Steven fucking Seagal after you actually seen him how he freaking just goes around and jumps like a clown around and then still believes shit like that as an adult human being?
No, it'd be like me squashing an ant. If he sees me, he runs.
It's therefore no surprise that Seagal despises Van Damme.
Thoughts on Jean-Claude Van Damme? Can I laugh in your face? Do I think Jean-Claude's a tough guy in martial arts? No.
However, Van Damme has only ever said positive things about Seagal in return.
Met the guy a few times. He's a nice guy. Doesn't like me much. I like him a lot. Good guy. Good charisma. He's got something special on the screen.
Another example of Steven Seagal's ego came from a story told by Rob Schneider.
Finally, Steven Seagal emerges and he comes out and he said, I just read the greatest script I've ever read in my life. He goes, really? Who wrote it? I did.
Which only becomes funnier once you realize that said best script ever was for his terrible performance on Saturday Night Live.
Listen to me carefully. I don't want you to talk about anything to me anymore. I don't want you to say my name anymore.
With atrocious lines such as that one, it's no surprise a long-term SNL employee called Seagal
worst host by lapped every bad host.
However, Seagal's hosting of another show somehow ended even worse. In 2009, Seagal told the LA Times he'd apparently been a policeman for more than 20 years, proving this by showing a black and white photo of him raising his right hand in what looks like a swearing-in ceremony, creating the impression it was taken when he first joined the department. At closer inspection, however, it appears the photo was taken 20 years and at least 20 pounds after the fact, casting doubt on whether Seagal had ever been part of the force. Regardless, this led Seagal to create a show called Lawman, where he and his crew went around apprehending criminals, often done with excessive force to make for enjoyable viewing. Well, in one episode, Seagal attempts to break up an illegal cockfighting operation by raiding a house with
I watched one of those. This was so funny. So effing funny how he actually went, I'm Seagal, motherfucker. And it was so funny how he just entered and was like, and acted so effing tough. So tough. And it was just, I had to laugh my freaking ass off every single second of the entire thing. It was so effing absurd, and I loved every second of it. It was just, oh, honestly, it was so freaking funny. Ah, good days, good days.
Tank with the goal of freeing the animals.
Animal cruelty is one of my pet peeves.
However, after doing so, the property's owner Jesus Sanchez Uvira quickly filed a $100,000 lawsuit which claims that more than 100 prize chickens being bred for show were killed by Seagal and his colleagues. An 11-month-old puppy was also shot and killed during the early morning raid. Seagal responded by stating, "I've been called a lot of things in my career, some of them not so kind, but to be labeled an animal abuser is beyond the pale and that is simply a role I will not accept." While another policeman stated if my deputies, or Posseman Seagal for that matter, had done something so awful like shooting a family dog, then where are the photos to prove it? It seemed for the first time ever Seagal wasn't actually—
And by the way, these days, you always say like, prove the photos and such. First of all, if you lose your freaking family dog, or a family member, in this case, because for me a dog is a freaking family member. I don't care who says what about this. This is just a fact for me. It's just, you cannot find a more loyal animal, or even human being, by the way. Like, there are maybe a handful that are more loyal than a dog, or even just halfway loyal. It's just, yeah, if you shoot it, you're in shock, first of all. And second of all, if you want a photo specifically while you're shooting, yeah, if you're a criminal, you know when to shoot, so nobody has any proof against you. So yeah, F you for that one, first of all. Second of all, I'm not even judging people after one thing, or if they say one bad thing or something, you know. But at the end, if you have actually, basically, you're acting like a bad human being time and time and time and time and time again. Yeah, then sorry if I hear something like that, I will assume the worst.
Lying. However, there was one more lawsuit that would end the show completely. In mid-2010, Steven Seagal was sued for sex trafficking, which became one of so many different allegations, it's genuinely difficult to count them all. On the set of 1991 Out for Justice, 4 different women quit during filming due to Seagal's continued piggery, while one of the stuntmen from earlier told an equally creepy story.
There's this girl sitting in a tub, she's wearing bikini, and they had to convince her that she has to come out of the tub naked.
The only thing that might rival his terrible track record with women is his track record with low-rated movies, none of which receiving more than 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, or more than 5 out of 10 on IMDb. And with no new movies in the last 5 years, Seagal has opted for a modern method of generating extra income: crypto scams.
Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen.
What the fuck? I didn't know that. Shit! No. Oh, F me, yeah. Yeah, of course, people fell for that. No, yeah. Cryptos, I didn't know that this is just... Oh my god, of all the things, why is that so freaking funny to me? I don't know, it's... oh shit, okay.
Steven Seagal scammed people with crypto.
From Team Seagal, Steven has just become the worldwide ambassador for the Bitcoin second generation cryptocurrency. Despite gaining only 150 likes, Steven was promised 250,000 in cash and 750,000 worth of B2G tokens in exchange for his promotions, which he failed to disclose to the public, resulting in a $330,000 fine. Seagal paid only $75,000 toward his debt before refusing to appear in court, then moving to Russia where he still lives now.
Damn, Steven Seagal
Bonded
is
by claiming that he and LaBelle had
extremely special. Like, he is a very, very extremely special human being. It's just... Oh, it's so freaking absurd that it's beautiful. I mean, this is something that just shouldn't happen. But it does. Oh my god. It's beautiful, but as it is, acolyte, you know the gist. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, press the notification button, because I always forget it at the start. Basically, I always wrestle with myself about it because I don't like it. I don't like it, calling it at the start, but it's the most effective thing to do, so you know that. But yeah, if you like it, SunnyV, I mean, I probably don't even have to say, look, watch out SunnyV, because SunnyV is just, he's known. You probably know him before you know me, so there's that. And yeah, I hope you had fun. Good night.